Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to make this really cool looking Viking anvil stand. Really easy to make, super cheap, probably less than 50 bucks, and a lot of fun to make. So let's get right into it. You have to cut your wood and select the best wood you possibly can, lay it out, and it's important to number it. Here I wanted all the nice sides facing out, so I ended up with no knot holes, which is actually pretty nice. Make sure you number it like I said, and find some really flat ground. Like this concrete was super flat and perfect for the job to glue up. Just put lots of glue on, make it super tight. Here it is, pulled up, checking out the tops, no gaps. I like the way it turned out, just using Tight Bond #1, the cheap stuff. And I think it turned out pretty good. Like I said, it's important to number the tops of them and have a really flat ground or area to work on, so you know they're going to be flat. After I pull them apart, I put them up here. Just use a really sharp chisel to remove any excess glue, which obviously is quite a bit, but that goes pretty fast with a sharp chisel. Not really a big deal at all. And then after that's over, I hit it with just belt sander, probably 60 grit. Went pretty fast. And then ready for the next glue up. Get your clamps ready. That just did a dry up there to make sure I like what it looked like. Like I said, I was pretty happy. It had no knot holes at all facing outwards. And then once you got it assembled, ready to go, just start knocking it out with the glue. Like I said, I used the Tight Bond, the cheap stuff. Put plenty on, brushed it out. Had a few spots that needed some extra glue, I thought, so I just globbed some more on there. And these are pretty heavy. If you have back issues or can't lift a whole lot of weight, each one of these pieces, the wood was pretty wet, so probably 30 to 40 pounds per slab there. Once again, just pretty repetitive, just globbing on the glue and painting it out and stacking them the best I could. And like I can't reiterate enough, make sure you have a super flat surface. I checked this concrete and it was really flat. And here just glued it up good, putting the clamps on, double checking things, putting on nice and tight, double securing them, tapping the top of the hammer just to make sure it's flush with the concrete on the bottom. We'll deal with the top later on, the unflatness. And here we are with about an 80 grit flapper wheel, knocking off the edges, making it rounded over, flattening up the top. And after that, simply make a little template out of the bottom of your anvil. And it's important to know which way the horn is facing, so you'll know how to orient it once you put it on your wood like this. And then figure out which way you want your horn to go, and then just trace it out. And I think that turned out pretty cool. And then after that, just get your favorite router or rotozip, whatever you can, to drill it out. Here I was starting off I think about a 1/2 inch deep. I wanted to see how that looked, see what I thought. Make sure you have a comfortable chair to sit in, because this is pretty back breaking. I can't imagine doing it without a chair to sit in. And just I started off here checking my progress. I was pretty happy with that depth and the way it's cutting, but it wasn't deep enough. It was about a 1/2 inch, and after I put the anvil in there, I just wanted it deeper, so I went back and took off about a 1/4 inch more. This is about a 3/4 inch deep. It looked pretty good. I was pretty happy with it. And picked up the anvil, set it in there. It's a 140-pound anvil, by the way. I was really happy with the way it turned out. It was actually in there pretty snug. Sat level. I wasn't looking for perfection around the edges, just so it's sitting there nice and no wobble at all, which is really nice on this stand. And that's because of the flat surface it's always been on. And just looking down the top, you can tell it's a pretty tight fit. I think it turned out pretty good. And just be sure you know which way you want the horn to go when you orient your anvil. And then the next step, pretty simple, just knocking off the outside with about 100 grit flapper. And here, by far the funnest part, lighting it up. So had a little torch and propane tank. I think I got from Walmart, super cheap. And here, just it's pretty obvious. Just know how far to stay back. Just you'll find your pace, and you'll get in your groove after a while. Again, find a nice comfortable chair, and this is really fun. You can tell how fast it goes. Like I said, it's pretty obvious, but I think this turned out really good. When I started doing this, I was super excited because it looks so good. I was super happy with the way this turned out. Yeah, really cool. Just a really cool feature, really cool touch. Super easy, a lot of fun. Here's probably the hardest part of the whole project. Drilling through this metal was brutal. Make sure you start with a smaller bit and work your way up to the larger bit. But it was definitely took a lot of work, and like I said, it wasn't fun at all. In fact, it was so difficult to drill through there and so time consuming. I really thought with maybe just doing one band around it, but then I looked at it, it looks cheesy. I'll man up and do the second part, even though it's pretty difficult. But just all I did was I put the metal around and marked each corner where it needed to go. Put on my anvil. There's my dog Duke making a cameo. And I put it in a little cheesy anvil or a vise. I hammered it over, made it square, put it on. And here's important. I wanted to make it look perfect so you can see where both overlaps are perfect on there. So it looks really, really good, really solid. And then next step here, putting in some 100% black silicone. And if you notice, I stayed away from the edge about half an inch to an inch. I didn't go all the way up against the edge because I didn't want it coming out over the top. And if it did, it was black, so it really didn't matter. But actually, it was perfect. And here, you can notice I'm struggling because I'm using one hand to videotape and one hand to use the caulk gun. But you'll see here in a second, it turned out way better using two hands. I used a whole tube and wasn't sure how that was going to work out, but it was amazing. It's actually so strong after it dried for 2 days, I can pick up the anvil and the stand will hang on to the bottom of it. Truly amazing, powerful stuff. Make sure you get 100% silicone, and simply amazing. And here it is, guys, the finished product. I don't think it could have turned out any better. It was about $40 for the wood, $10 for the metal and the lag screws, and probably took 3 days total in between, letting the glue dry for 24 days in between gluing. Good luck. Any questions, hit me up. Have a great day. God bless.